What's up, guys? Guns here, bringing you another episode of our GM mode series for the Colorado Avalanche in NHL 14. So last video we completed the re-sign stage and free agency. The big moves, we re-signed everyone that we wanted to for our team. The big moves were we've added Alexander Steen to our team, and also we've let Varlamov go. In exchange, we've picked up Eddie Lack. So I'm just going to advance all the way to the end now of free agency because there's no one else really we want to sign. We also pretty much don't have any cap left available anyway. We've only got, as you can see there, about 3 million. So we will simulate to the end here. And what I might decide to do as well is, because obviously since we picked up Steen, there was talk of maybe basically him replacing Tanguay. But the reality was Tanguay was like a top point scorer for us last year. So I'm not just going to demote him straight off. You know, he played very well for us, but at the same time, you know, he was getting old, so he might only have a couple of seasons left for us. So that was the logic of adding Steen. He is that little bit younger, and it just gives the players, you know, like McKinnon and Ernie and Kucherov just that little bit longer to progress to make themselves kind of first line ready. So just going to get to the end here, and once we get to the end of free agency, obviously we can look at the jumps that our players have, and then we can really start assessing and see kind of who we're going to be signing or who we're going to be playing on which lines. Not going to make too many changes to last year. Obviously we've let McLeod go, so that is one player we've lost, but obviously we've added Steen, so we still have 12, you know, NHL ready top forwards, but at the same time, maybe someone like McKinnon or something has had that big jump. So here we go. Welcome back to the second year as GM of Colorado Avalanche. You made some interesting choices in the off-season, but I have to assume you know what you're doing. Just to let you know, I want the team to get 38 wins. Don't let me down. Okay, so we'll set that up in a minute. But now we're into the second season, we can really go in here and have a look at everyone's contracts, and we can have a look at everyone's overalls. So all skaters. So Eric Johnson and Kevin Shattenkirk now both 88 overalls. So we really have got a couple of top two defensemen now in those two players. Matt Duchene's at 87, and Landeskog there's an 86. So there's Alexander Steen that we signed there, is 84 overall. And then see that Tanguay's 84. Just to compare the stats there, you can see Alexander Steen, I really liked his defensive category. There, shooting is 85, 86, 86, 85, and got a good skating physical category. Now compare that to Alex Tanguay. Shooting is pretty much the same, but slightly better. Definitely more physical. Steen is better physically and defensively, but Tanguay is slightly better with the puck. But they are very, very similar stat-wise. So O'Reilly, he's an 84. Gilbert's stayed at 84. Parenteau's 84. McGinn's jumped to an 83. So that's good. Hayden's still 82. Downey's 82. Barry's an 82. Peverley. So it doesn't look like we've had any big jumps from our prospect. Okay, so there we go. McKinnon is a 71 now, so that's a jump from he was in the 60s, I think. Okay, and if we need to go in the system, there's Tarasenko, he's an 84. Elliott's now a 77. Ernie is a 75, and Kucherov 72. Reich's 68. So they're probably all going to spend another year in the minors. We might play Adam Ernie, possibly. Let's just what we need to do is go into roster moves and make sure we have like sufficient forwards. So we have, let's call Adam Ernie up and Tarasenko up. Okay, so we'll send Bordelais down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so it's between McKinnon and Ernie of who we sent down. Ernie, he's got a pretty decent defensive category, not great. Whereas McKinnon, he is still very raw at the moment, so I'm going to give him another year in the minors. Send him to juniors, so that's fine. So as you can see, because of his big contract, that does give us plenty of salary cap room on our NHL team for this year. Okay, so Adam Ernie, it's basically either Adam Ernie or we play Bordelot as that strong fourth liner, but his defensive category is not that great. Adam Ernie's defensive category is actually even better than his. So I think I'm going to give him a chance and just see how it goes. Defenseman. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there. That's fine. And goalies. Oh wow. Look at that. Eddie Lack has jumped to an 84. That's unbelievable. We signed him as a 77 and he's jumped to an 84. So it still says he's a backup, but 84 overall, that's better than Varlamov was. So I think he will be our starter. And then yeah. Okay, so that's fine. So let's go to edit lines. Just to go best lines to start with. Okay. So at the moment, I think I'm going to play. I'm going to have a top line. I don't want to break up the top line that we had last year because it was a really good line. Tanguay, Duchesne, and Tarasenko. Okay, now I think I'm going to play second line of Steen, O'Reilly, and Landeskog. That's a really strong defensive line. They've all got great categories. How does he shoot? Does he shoot left? And I think Landeskog shoots left as well. That's fine. Does any one of these guys shoot? No, they all shoot left, so that's fine. And then we'll have a. That's fine. Peverley, Parenteau, and do I maybe give? I might give Ernie just some, because he has got that strong shot. Some time on the third line, and then Downey just really helping out that. So that's a really strong fourth line now, with Mitchell, McGinn, and Downey. So Ernie's going to be given the chance to have some time. I'm not going to give him any power play or penalty kill, just purely some time there with Peverley and Parenteau, and see how he gets on there. Defensively, I'm going to do the same thing I did last year, and I'm going to split our top two defensemen just to try and make that second line a little bit stronger. So I'm going to have who should I have? So we'll have Gilbert with Johnson up there, and Shattenkirk with Hader down on the second line, and then Barry Wilson on the third. Okay, it's a power play. So definitely going to want Steen on the power play. There, two-way. That's fine. There, four-man. What's he shooting? That's fine, and he's, yeah. What I might even do here is, because we have like Steen, Landeskog, O'Reilly, all very good defensively. What I might do is move like Steen to the point with Shattenkirk on the first line, and then we'll have Actually, I'll move Steen down there on the point. So there's all very good defensively as well. And then we've got Gilbert Shattenkirk there. Okay, penalty kill. So I'm going to have Pevley on the face-off with Steen and O'Reilly with Landeskog there. And there we go. 3-man. Because Pevley does have really good face-offs, which is obviously always key to have on there, so that's fine. And then same thing again, keeping the defensive lines as they were. 4-on-4. I'm going to have Steen out there with Duchesne. And this, there we go. So that's that fourth line. Sorry, there's just quite a few to go through here. Ryan O'Reilly, Landeskog. Yeah, and then I'll have Tanguay. Move him there. Or actually maybe even I'll have Tarasenko. There we go, that's fine. And then extra attacker, Matt Duchesne or Gabe Landeskog. And then goalies, definitely going to start with Eddie Lack, 84 overall. We've picked him up for about 1.3, that's a great deal. So just now to shoot out, just very quickly change this. Tanguay, Parentel, I think he's actually got a pretty good shot. Yeah, so we'll keep that as it is. And actually I might go with Tarasenko ahead of Steen. He does have a slightly better hands. There we go. Okay, so that's the lines there. And then for our AHL team, we just want to make sure everyone's getting good time that we want. So Kucherov and Whiteshaw. Who else have we got down here? Anyone that we want to make sure of it's scratched? No. Okay, so no, that's fine. So Kucherov and Whiteshaw are the two players we want to make sure are getting minutes. So they are defensively. We want Siemens and Elliott up there definitely. And there we go. Westland. There we go. Whiteshaw and Kucherov are there again. That's good. So we'll change him to Whiteshaw. That's fine. Penalty kill. Yeah, that's all fine. I'm not going to. And Whiteshaw. There we go. Okay, so we're now ready to get going here. I think all the line changes have been made, so we can simulate up here. We'll go through pre-season, and then basically the next video we'll really kick on with year 2. Okay, so scouting assignment. So let's have a look here and see. So we've got, I think, a pretty good defensive pool coming up, but maybe we don't really have fat elite defensemen. So maybe scouting defenseman here again would be a good idea. Forwards. Let's just have a look and see. Okay, OHL. Okay, so scout. Let's just what we'll do is we'll scout all positions and then and that way we can make sure, because we've now obviously got ourselves 3 decent keepers, or 2 good keepers, and also that prospect. And then also we are building ourselves a nice defensive core going forward. And obviously Shatterkirk and Johnson are still both very young. Okay, so pre-season's not obviously always an indication of things to come here. Hey, it's your boss. I know you've taken a long-term approach to success. I'd be happy to surprise you made friends, but we won't be angry if you don't. Okay. So there we go. That's fine. Obviously, the thing I'm still kind of concerned about at the moment is our defensive core is not the best. That's maybe, in hindsight, something that we could look at. We could look to move Tanguay for a defenseman. Continue. That's fine. We're definitely salary cap compliant. Okay, so that's maybe something we could do just to show you very quickly, so you guys can make any recommendations. Trade negotiations, trade players. So players that we have here with transfer value. So we've got all of these guys here. I mean, we could even, if Steen doesn't start working out, he does have some trade value there. Parento is another one who does have trade value. He's now sitting down on the 3rd line. So Tanguay does have pretty good value as well. And even though he was great for us last year, we don't need people like Parento on the 3rd line and Downey on the 4th line. So we are kind of squeezing 7 top 6 guys. Maybe even 8. He's, just to show you the role. We've only got Matt Duchesne, who's a true first line. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 second line guys. So we are really very much squeezing 7 guys into the top 6 spots. So that is something we can maybe look to do. Do let me have your comments on that, because then we can obviously add to our defensive core that little bit better. Because just to show you here, we do have Johnson in the top 2, then we have 2 top 4s, and we've got 3 top 6s. So someone like Jan Hader at the moment, ideally we'd want kind of Hader and Barry being that 3rd line. Ryan Wilson is just a little bit down on where we would like to be for 4th line. Now, he's not terrible, but if we could find someone a little bit better, that might just make us, move from being like an 8th seed position to maybe pushing up the division. So do let me have your thoughts of someone we should look to maybe move for and sacrifice one of those older forward players. Whether it is Steen, if you think Steen was a bad move, we can obviously try to move him, or Tanguay or Parento. If you've liked this video, please do just like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I will catch you later.